Welcome back to the channel. Cameraderie is what it's called because it's what it called it. It's a pun. Cameras. Camaraderie. We're all in this together. You get it. So what we're going to be doing today is, I'm going to be doing today, you're there watching the video on the other side of this thing right there. What I'm going to be doing today is showing y'all another step of the home development process, and that is actually getting your film ready to shoot. I bulk load my film, and what that means is that you take a little bulk loader right here and you put a 100-foot roll of film in here, and then you put them on these little reloadable film cassettes, and it basically just saves you about half the cost of film. And if you shoot as much as I do, you definitely save a lot of money in the process. But why I'm doing this, I do this most days. So I've got an experiment that I'm going to be doing within the next week or so, is seeing how all of the various variables affect your film negatives in the development process. So, for instance, how hot or cold the temperatures are of the chemicals in relation to what they're supposed to be at. How that affects negative density, how it affects the contrast, etc., etc. How long it's in the chemicals, stuff like that. But to do that, I figured out that I needed 7 rolls of film. So I'm going to be loading up 7 different rolls. Not in this video, that's just what I'm going to be doing at some point. But I figured I'd show y'all how to get this, what's in here, onto here. There are plenty of videos out there that show you how to do this already. That's how I learned, was watching videos on the topic. But just show you it from my point of view. So you're going to need a few things to get your film onto your cassette. You're going to need a bulk loader of your choice. What I've got is the Watson 100. There are plenty of other options out there though. You're also going to need a reloadable film cassette. What I've got is, I don't have any idea what brand this is, but it's a pretty popular design. It's just a screw-on cap, tape, scissors. This is all off-center there. There we go. Alright, cool. Now you do have several options as far as tape go. I have settled on gaff tape. I tried out Scotch tape, I tried out masking tape, I tried out duct tape, and they all have their flaws to me. Regular Scotch tape is not as good. It doesn't hold strong enough, I don't think, not for my liking at least. I like to push my rolls of film as far as they can go, so if you do that past the last frame, I've had the tape actually come apart from the central column, so that was no good. And then masking tape felt it was good, but just not, I wasn't confident in it. Never had it pop off the roll, or the center column thing, which is this guy right here. Never had any issues with it, I just wasn't confident in it. And duct tape leaves a nasty residue on the film, and I'm not a big fan of that, even though you cut it off. I just don't like it. So my preference is gaff tape. This roll's almost out, but yeah, there we go. Cool. Let me show you how to do the thing. Basic rundown of how a bulk loader works. This is where you put the roll of bulk film. You got to do that in a changing bag or in a darkroom. Right here is your film counter. Let's see. Yes. So you got it right over here. And yeah, I'll show you how that worked in a second. But yeah, you got your gate open, gate closed. So when the gate is open, that means this little part right here is letting the film flow through it freely. But in order to actually access it, you do want to keep the gate closed. If it's open, you can't really open the top of it like that. That's why there's this neat little groove right there. So this is where your film lives. And it's got little sprockets that line up with the sprocket hole. And yeah, right here, that's where the film comes through. And that's why it's so important to keep the gate closed, because it kind of locks this in place, makes it light tight. That way you don't ruin the rest of your 100-foot roll, or however much you have left. I only probably have a couple feet. But yes, oh wait, I don't need to close that. All right, cool. So I'm gonna open this, take that out, and what you're gonna want to do, doing this backwards. So you got your tape on the film. You just pop it on here like this. Make sure it's nice and secure. Take this little guy, and there's a little slit right there where the film goes through. And there you go. Oh, there you go. Cool. Sweet. Tight. All right. And put this cap back on. And there you go. Make sure, actually that's not on at all. There it is. Cool. So next thing you're gonna do is pull this out a little bit, make sure this is out so that you can get the cartridge actually in there. And there we go, cool. Ready to go. Close that back up. Make sure the gate is open so that you're not basically forcing the film through the light gate. And yeah, there you go. From there you can start winding the film. What's neat about these is that you can basically customize the amount of frames that you have on your roll. So like I'm gonna be only shooting probably 7 rolls or 7 frames per roll for this experiment that I'm going to be doing. So I don't need, normally I would roll it all the way up to 36, 38, somewhere around there. But for this, you don't need to do, or I don't need to do that. So I'm just going to set the film counter to 0. There we go. Just turn the crank. Hear that little click. It does that for each roll of, or each frame of film that you're advancing through. And let's see where we're at. We're at about 7 right there. Maybe a couple more frames just for safety. And yeah, you can go all the way up to 36, 40, 30, however many you want. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. Close the gate back whenever you're ready to cut the film. And there we go. And tight. One last thing you're going to want to do is you need a leader, a film leader, basically just like a little cutout, because most cameras don't let you put this whole thing in the film take-up spool, as I'm sure you might either be aware or have seen in some other videos. But all you have to do is just do a little bit like that, and now your film reel is ready to go. You just loaded your own film. I loaded my own film. You watched me do it. Cool. And yeah, sorry about the autofocus or lack thereof or whatever. It's just kind of getting used to the setup of having a camera between my crotch. And yeah, there you go. That's how you get film onto a reloadable cassette. It's pretty straightforward. I will be doing a video on this experiment that I was talking about. Hopefully I can get that put together by next week-ish. I also am going to do a kind of a breakdown of my development process that I do all the time at home and see, I mean, everybody's process is a little bit different. There are basic guidelines, but you kind of fine tune it yourself as you go along. So yeah, keep an eye out for those videos. Thank you for watching this one, and see you next time. I won't see you at all. You'll see me, and you know, there you go. Bye.